It is for sale. It's one of my favorite jokes. It says, homeschool, it's the goodest. A lot of my stuff I didn't bring, a lot of my shirts I didn't bring with me, and I don't have any of the DVDs or anything, but these are going to be for sale out there for $10, and I do take cash, your parents' credit card, so that'll be perfect. Who wants this shirt? Your homeschool? Somebody's gonna get hurt. It's a fight. I didn't mean to do that. I'll give you both one. I'll give you both one. Dang. I love fighting. Did you guys not learn anything from the service? I appreciate the good words, but I'm gonna kill somebody for a t-shirt. That's cool. You would, yeah. You guys, real quick before I get out of here, they asked me if I could come down and entertain you guys for a little bit, and then also I'm gonna tell my testimony. Does that sound good, you guys? I get a little bit nervous to do this because I'm not really I'm not a preacher or anything, so I don't really. Makes me a little nervous to share personally, but like I said, I did grow up. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, one of 8 kids, and my dad's a preacher. And I grew up probably like most of you guys. Like everybody's like a lot of people in here. I'm sure they've been saved. They've always been in church. How many people raise your hand if you've been in church for as long as you can remember? Always, right? Yeah. That's the same with me. Then I went to when I went to college. That was a kind of a time when there was a lot of, I don't know how to say it, maybe there's some bad influences there. And all you guys are going to get to a point in life where you're going to have to make your faith in Jesus your own. And I think a lot of, in terms of like the culture today, I feel like for whatever reason, someone decided, maybe it was from TV or whatever, that they decided that being a Christian wasn't cool. And when I started doing stand-up comedy, I wanted to try to fit in with everyone else. And if you know anything about stand-up comedy, a lot of times the guys are telling dirty jokes and swearing and stuff like that. And I wanted to fit in, but my pastor said something to me, I'll never forget. He's like, hey John, you have a unique perspective as a Christian, and your dad's a pastor, and you were homeschooled. Why don't you just make jokes? Why don't you talk about that kind of stuff? And I was like, yeah, there's obviously tons of material there to make fun of, but no, I'm just kidding. They were like, why don't you just be who you are? And I think a lot of times as Christians, and even when we're going to come out here for the weekend, we're going to have an awesome time. You guys are all going to go back to school on Monday, and people are going to be like, where were you? What were you doing? And sometimes you get nervous to talk about the great time that you had here. You think you're going to get made fun of, or you think whatever. And for some reason, I just came to the conclusion that if Jesus is the best thing that ever happened to me, it saved my life, why would I not want to share that with my friends? You know what I'm saying? Amen to that, yeah. Everybody gets kind of nervous to talk to people about Jesus or something, but we do it all the time. Like, you've ever got like a hilarious video that you see on YouTube? What's the first thing you do? You go to all your buddies, you're like, you have to see this video. Check out this hilarious, it's a cat riding a squirrel, or I don't know, whatever. All the crazy stuff. You hear a great song on the radio, you go to your friends, you're like, you have to hear about this song. Why? Because you like your friends, and you want to share this with them about good stuff. So I feel like it's the exact same way about your faith. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to go to your friends and be like, can you please come to church with me, and then we're going to invite you forward, and we're going to lay hands on you. It doesn't have to be like that. It's weird, especially just going out, being around like Christian people is good because you get up the confidence, you get up the encouragement to go out in the world and be a good person. And at your school, here's what happens to me, because I go into, I'm a stand-up comedian, I go into comedy clubs, different kind of venues, and it's real simple. You go into a dark place like that, your school is probably the same way. And all I do, I don't swear, and I don't drink, and I don't talk bad about other people. I don't talk behind people's backs. And everybody, every time, be like, dude, what's the deal with you, man? There's something different about this guy. And you think you'd have to go around to all your friends, and like you have to bring your Bible to school, and you got to beat people over the head with it. You don't have to do, that'd be weird if you actually did that, but you don't have to do any of that. Just real simple things that you can do to prove to people that you're a believer and you're different from other people. Even if you're sitting in the cafeteria and somebody's walking by, you go, hey, you want to sit here? We got a spot for you. Real simple. If you're in a group of people, somebody's talking bad about somebody, somebody's making fun of somebody, just say, hey, that person's not here. I don't think it's fair that we make fun of them. And it'll blow your mind. And people will be like, what? This is so, like, all the time you got all kids walking around, all kind of different people. You got short hair, long hair. People wear different color shoes, different color outfits. It's easy. It's so easy to criticize people. I read a quote on Twitter that said it takes no courage to criticize somebody. It takes no courage to make fun of somebody. You're gonna make fun of somebody at school. Oh, your shirt's a different color than mine. Your skin's a different color than mine. You're whatever. There's a million different ways you can make fun of somebody, but it takes a lot of courage to stand up and say, hey, I don't think we should be making fun of that guy. You know what? And walk around with that sensibility, and people will, over time, they'll be like, you know what? There's something different about you. And everywhere I go, every time I go into a club, people come up to me and they're like, hey, can you help me with my life, or can you help me with some decisions? And I never said a word about, you need to come to church with me, or judging someone for their behavior, but you just live the way you're meant to live, and it'll shine, and people will see that. Take what you've learned here this weekend, all the awesome friends you made, and go back into your communities and be a light to all those people. Amen to that, everybody?